Hey everyone, Dave from Blueberries Games here. Welcome to another edition of $20 budget decks. Today's deck, Goblins. One of the things I like to do with my decks when I'm selling them is I like to give them nice little name, like cool names or funny names or something that's what have you. This one I originally just called Red Goblins. My first time using these boxes, I was just whatever. I just named it Red Goblins. But then as I found the stickers, even though they don't stick very well to the boxes, I was like, I'm gonna come up with some cool names for them. So the obligatory ErMahGerd Gerblins, mono red. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Goblins is one of the fastest tribes in Magic. It's so simple to win with these things because they have really got a lot of goblins out there. So let's get into the deck. Foundry Street Denizen. Whenever another red creature enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1, +1/+0. There's so many red creatures in this deck. You plop this down first, you're getting 2 damage minimum in on the first turn, maybe even more, or second turn, depending on when you can attack. Just really good value. It's so quick that you can't not have it in there. A couple Goblin Arsonists, just because they do extra damage. Even if they do damage, then they die. They deal more. The Trailblazer, just evasion. Looking for evasion so you can get through more damage quickly. This one has Menace. I believe a couple other creatures in this one have Menace too, but this one is the cheapest of the ones that have evasion. 2/1, and then you're not really gonna find a lot of people playing red in budget anyway. Mog Flunkies, cheapest for the highest casting cost. Usually in this deck, you're going to be attacking every turn. It doesn't matter if your guys die or not. You're just going to be slinging spells and throwing your troops against the proverbial wall and hoping that they hit. If they don't, they die. Sacrificial lambs, all in the name of goblins and winning. So Mog Flunkies is the cheapest for the highest casting cost. You're going to be attacking no matter what anyway. That makes them a little bit bigger than most of the other creatures that you're going to be facing. Mog War Marshal, more of a techie little thing I throw in here. It's a 2 cast 1/1 that it can kill itself anyway. When it enters and when it leaves play, it creates a 1/1. So essentially, if you do pay the echo cost, you get for 2 mana and then 2 echo, you get 3 1/1s. Most of the time, what you're going to do with this card is you're going to play it. You're going to let it die. You're going to get 2 1/1s. Simple as that. You just want to try to get more bodies out on the battlefield. And again, with more bodies, Instigator, again, same thing. This one doesn't give you 2, it only gives you 1, but same premise, just getting more bodies out there. And I'll tell you why in a second. The Bogart Brute, I told you before, with the other one, it's got Menace. So it's got a higher attack, so it's a little bit more efficient than the other one with Menace. I believe it has Menace. What was it? It was, yeah, the Trailblazer. That one's the 2/1. This one's the 3/2. Evasion. That's all it is. It's just looking for a cheap, efficient evasion and a 3-power Menace. Usually you can get one hidden with that without even worrying about it. Or you'll kill 2 of your opponent's creatures, one of the 2. Volley Veteran. This is more along the lines of your trying to get your opponent's creatures out of the way. The entire deck is goblins, so when it deals damage to a creature, it's equal to the number of goblins you control. You just saw how many tokens I have that you can make. Lots of goblin tokens equal lots of death for your opponent. You can kill something. Usually, when this gets cast, you can kill something on the opponent's side that's 4 or 5 toughness, and that's pretty much all you need. Doesn't hurt that it's also got a 4 power, so that when it does get to attack, it can also kill another thing that has about 4 defense. So, really efficient creature. Throw in here a quest for the Goblin Lord. You're playing goblins. Every time you play one, put a counter on it. And then as long as there's 5 quest counters on it, all of your creatures actually get +2/+0. So it's to help make it so that you can buff up your creatures and have nothing to pay for it. You don't have to pay any mana after the initial casting of it. Most of the quests in this game you have to sacrifice, so it's nice that this one you don't have to sacrifice. You can just leave it out. So creature removal suite for this one is a little different than anything, for black. Black is usually just kill. Red has to deal the damage to them. Uh, a lot of people gave the cards like this. I don't remember what they called them, but like the dude that your opponent can choose to do one or the other cards. They didn't really give him a whole lot of a credit, but for me, Blazing Salvo was one of the best ones. In a deck like this, you don't give a crap at all which one they choose. They either take the 5, which is perfect because that's a quarter of their health, or their creature dies. And most of the time, they're probably going to choose their creature dies. But every once in a while, somebody will choose the 5 damage to the dome. And gotta be honest with you, and against this deck, you don't want to do that anyway. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And I love Blazing Salvos for my Goblin decks. Now, the reason why I like to make a lot of tokens is this card right here. Goblin Grenade. It literally is just one red, deal quarter of your opponent's health to them. I mean, it's just all those tokens you're making, all the sacrificial lambs. You can attack in. If they don't die, they do hit. You can pretty much, if you do it right, win on third turn with this deck. If the draws come up correctly and everything lines up right, it's a pretty quick deck to go with. I got a play set of those in here because why wouldn't you? Shocks. Obviously, it's going to be Shocks and the Ilk. Play set of Shocks and 2 Lightning Strikes. It's your damage to get creatures off the board so that yours can get in their damage. Rolling Thunder. You're not really going to go late game with this deck. You're either going to win quick or going to lose quick. Rolling Thunder is more along the lines of I want to try to eliminate their multiple 1 toughness creatures to get them out of the way so they can't chump block. Sometimes, though, it may be the game finisher. It just depends on how long the game goes. Annihilating File, just 3 damage, and it'll exile the creature. Play set of those. Now, for the rares, I chose Goblin Chieftain, obviously. It gives all your goblins haste and +1/+1, so why wouldn't you, right? Squee was more along the lines of teching. I was doing a little bit of tech so that you could use, if you didn't feel like sacrificing your tokens, you could sacrifice a Squee and get them back. Siege Gang Commander. Siege Gang Commander puts more tokens out for the ability to swing in, because if you look at his ability, you can sacrifice these to do 2 damage anyway. So what's the harm in attacking with the 1/1 tokens and then sacrificing them for the extra 2 damage? So like I said, real quick, real fast. The special card I chose was a foil Dictator of the Twin Gods. I chose this because it doubles the damage that you can do. Sure, it doubles your opponents, but you're doing direct damage with your spells. So imagine a shock for 1 doing 4 damage to anything. Seems pretty good, and it itself has flash, so instead of your opponent getting the advantage or the use out of it, like most of the things like Howling Mine, when you play them, your opponent usually gets the advantage first. This one you can flash it in at the end of their turn, so that you can get the benefit of it first instead of your opponent. So there's always a good time when you can double damage when red's around. So. Alright, so for the lands, it's a monocolored deck, so it's mostly mountains, but we went with a couple of new, neat things. So, in my collection, I found Goblin Burrows. I don't know how good it really works, but it gives a Goblin +2/+0. Worst case scenario, it just gives you a colorless mana and it doesn't do anything. But, I mean, it's neat. It has Goblin in the name, so I threw it in there. I like to put the cyclers in there for the colors, so with this one I went with Smolder and Crater, found a couple of them, just to make your draws better. And of course the obligatory Evolving Wilds, or whatever one, every deck has 2 of these that I make just to make the draws better. So that is the Goblins, Mono Red Goblins deck for my budget decks today. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please do them below. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, and that is ErMahGerd Gerblins. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.